Hey guys, this is Dr. Shwek Singla. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm gonna discuss about a very important topic from the pathology, hematology, that is ITP and TTP. So first of all, what is ITP? ITP means immune thrombocytopenic purpura, and what is thrombocytopenic purpura? So first of all, what is the pathology again behind it? So in this, there is antibody against GP2B3A and GP1B9 factors. So what are these? Look at this diagram, guys. There is this this is the platelet. This sorry. So this is the platelet, and this is the factor GP1B9, and this is the GP2B30, which is a black color, and a green color, this is GP1B9 factor. So you can see here these GP2B30 are responsible for the aggregation. These factors are responsible for the aggregation. You can see here these are aggregation means the platelet it is adhere to the another platelet. So this is aggregation. So GP2B3A is responsible for aggregation, but GP1B9 is responsible for adhesion to the blood vessel endothelium. So this is the endothelium of the blood vessel, and here you can see this is the wall von Willebrand factor VWF here, and this GP1B9 is going to interact with von Willebrand factor and causing the adhesion. So this is the guys adhesion, and GP2B3A is causing the aggregation of the platelets. So this is very important, guys. So antibodies against GP2B3A and GP1B9 will be causing no adhesion and no aggregation. So there will be intravascular hemolysis, and there can be bleeding in the patient. So guys, first of all, also there is an antibody against these factors, so it is a hypersensitivity reaction type 2. I will be covering all the hypersensitive reaction in another video, and I will be telling the tricks to learn the different examples and also the hypersensitivity reactions. So in this there will be intravascular hemolysis, and there are two forms of immune ITP. First is acute ITP, and the second is the chronic ITP. Acute ITP normally occurs in the child, and the chronic ones is in the adult. So it is in the child, and it is after the viral infection. First there will be viral infection to the child, and then ITP will be occurring. So this condition is self-limiting and no treatment is required. Only supportive treatment is given, like if there is a fever we will give him PCM, paracetamol, or means only we can giving the normal saline infusion to the patient. So by maintain, so that we can maintain the volume of the patient, the blood volume of the body fluid volume of the patient. We will giving only normal saline to the patient. Supportive treatment will be there. But in the chronic immune thrombocytopenic purpura, this condition is not self-limiting. So we will be giving steroids, because as there is antibodies against platelets, so steroids can be helpful in this condition. But if someone asks you what is the definitive treatment for this, so definitive treatment is the splenectomy. This is very important, guys. So definitive treatment for this is the splenectomy. And one more important point for this, guys, never ever transfuse platelet. The platelet transfusion is contraindicated in the ITP. It is contraindicated in ITP, TTP both. So why it is contraindicated? Because if you transfuse this platelet, it will trigger more antibody formation, and more antibody formation will be there, and more coagulopathy can be there. So never ever transfuse platelet in the patient of ITP and TTP also. So Now next, this was the topic guys, ITP. Now coming to the next topic, TTP. TTP means thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. So what is the pathology behind TTP? In the ITP there was antibodies, but in the TTP there is ADAMTS13 deficiency. So what is ADAMTS13? Guys, this is the factor which causes the lysis of von Willebrand factor VWF. This now you can hear in this diagram, this is the von Willebrand factor, and ADAMTS13 was causing the lysis of this factor. So if ADAMTS13 deficiency is there, so there will be increased increased von Willebrand factor. If there is deficiency of the ADAMTS13 factor, there will be increased von Willebrand factor, and it will be causing more binding of the platelets. Okay guys, and more adhesion of the platelet, as you can see in the previous diagram. This will be causing more and more adhesion of the platelets. So there can be two possibility guys. First, if there is more and more adhesion, the platelets are gonna consume in this, so this can cause consumptional thrombocytopenia, and it will be causing purpura. The patient can have purpura, means more and more bleeding. And also there is a condition known as microthrombus formation, because if the platelets are aggregating, this can cause a thrombus formation in the blood vessels. Here you can see there can be a thrombus, like condition in the blood vessels. So if there is thrombus in the blood vessels, so it will blocking the small vessels. If there is thrombus in the vessels, it will block the vessels, and there can be two conditions. First, there can be renal infarction and causing the uremia. Uremia means the urine will come in the blood. And second condition is the microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. So this is the short form known as MAHA. Guys, this is very very important. MAHA, microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. So guys, what is microangiopathic? Microangiopathy means narrowing of lumen of blood vessels. As there is thrombus formation, there will be narrowing of the lumen of the blood vessels. So it will be causing physical trauma to the RBCs. Means when the RBCs are passing, in this diagram you can see, when the RBCs are passing through the blood vessel, the RBCs can have the physical trauma because of that thrombus. Then they are passing through the blood vessels, and this causes the hemolysis. So the name is microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. So guys, you can see this is an intravascular hemolysis. Okay guys, this is an intravascular hemolysis. Now for the diagnosis, we can have peripheral blood smear. Peripheral PBS means peripheral blood smear. In this peripheral blood smear, you can see these type of cells. These are the schistocytes. Burr cell, and the helmet cells. So these are different type of schistocytes. You can remember this, and this is a pathology. These are the schistocytes. So guys, what is the treatment for this? We can give cryoprecipitate in these patients. And also you know very well, the platelet transfusion is contraindicated in both ITP and the TTP. So guys, this was the video, and this is a very very important topic from the pathology, and so many questions are asked from this topic. So thank you, and like and share the video and subscribe to my channel. This is Dr. Sheikh Singla signing off. Bye bye.